Hello and welcome to another edition of waterwaysnews.com, and here are the news headlines, or some of them, that are featured in today's issue. Haitian officials have rejected a Mexican aid ship carrying 77 tons of much-needed food aid because of unfounded swine flu fears. Haitian officials said they won't let the Mexican Navy ship El Hostico, which is carrying much-needed rice, fertilizer and emergency food kits, berth at Port-au-Prince. Mexican Ambassador González Reynero said that the cargo and 64 sailors aboard the ship were cleared in Mexico. She said, "We don't want to turn the ship around, but we also don't want the crew to be mistreated." She said it was possible the ship could try to deliver the aid at some time in the future. A South Korean destroyer chased Somali pirates from a North Korean ship off the African coast in the country's first such operation abroad. The South Korean destroyer has been escorting cargo vessels in the Gulf of Aden since April. The Gulf is a key shipping route for a huge tonnage of South Korean container ships and oil tankers. Mercy Ships founders Don and Deon Stevens have received the Variety Club International Humanitarian Award, presented to them at a glittering ceremony in London by the Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. Previous winners of the prestigious award have included Sir Winston Churchill and Audrey Hepburn. In the last 30 years since their founding, Mercy Ships missions have sailed to 70 countries and provided medical care to more than 2 million poor people. Thousands of free onboard surgeries have transformed the lives of people suffering from conditions that in wealthier Western countries are easily curable. The Queensland government in Australia says it will seek $25 million from the Pacific Adventurer, the ship that caused one of Australia's worst oil ship disasters. The ship owned by Swire Shipping spilled 270,000 litres of oil into Moreton Bay in March. Queensland Transport Minister Rachel Nolan, who has declared the clean-up over, said Swire had offered $20 million, but the bill had come to $25 million. She said the state will now pursue them for the remaining costs. The ship's captain is due back in court in June. He's charged with one count of discharging oil into Queensland waters. About 2,500 people from dozens of government agencies, councils and private firms were involved in the cleanup. More than 3,000 tons of sand contaminated with oil was removed from Moreton Island. Bangladesh attorney Rizwana Hassan has started a legal battle against the dismantling of ships in her country. She says this practice is polluting the environment and costing untrained workers their lives and should be stopped. Decommissioned ships sent to the southern coast of Bangladesh are dismantled virtually by hand on the beaches. It is estimated that one worker dies every day in the shipyards in Bangladesh. Hassan has already successfully petitioned the government and blocked 2 toxic ships from coming into Bangladesh for breaking earlier in the year. On April the 23rd, a group identifying themselves only as Agenda 21 crept on board a Norwegian whaling ship, the Skarbak, and used an adjustable spanner to open a saltwater intake in the engine room and flooded the ship. The ship sank in port. "We came to the port, we saw the Skarbak, we sank the bastard." This was the message left by the anonymous activists who scuttled the boat. The fire crews had got to the ship before it hit bottom, but the ship had already filled with seawater and extensive damage had occurred. The Skarbuk is the fourth ship Agenda 21 have sunk in 12 years. Norwegian whalers pay huge insurance premiums as a result of these campaigns. And finally, a brand new ship, the RV Orient Pando, has launched at a cost of $2.7 million US. It is made of teakwood and brass and is now undergoing minor renovations and changes for its maiden trip on July the 1st, 2009, when some 60 mainly Western customers will sail the country's longest river, the Rajang. Alexander Schiebel, a representative of the Irrawaddy Flotilla Company, said some 1,300 people, mostly Americans, Europeans and Australians, had confirmed their participation for the year. Passengers pay between $3,000 and $5,000 US for the 8 days, 9-night trip. He said they've always wanted to try something new. The Rajang, with its rich native culture and traditions, rainforest and rapids, will make for an interesting ecotourism experience. Westerners are always curious about Borneo and Sarawak, in particular because of its history of colonization. Most of the passengers were those who had experienced the company's cruises in Myanmar, which is Burma, and Vietnam already. The ship was built in Ho Chi Minh City, and the RV Orient Pando, which is well featured in this issue, is powered by two 850 horsepower engines. This has been the news from waterwaysnews.com. There are plenty more headlines inside the issue. This has been but 5 or 6 of the 40 or so. Do follow the stories. And the main story today, the cover news, is of course that new ship, the Royal Orient or the Orient Pando. Have a look. Until tomorrow then. Bye.